Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Okay, great.
evening. Hi, so good to see you all. So my name is Maria Farr. I'm the president of South Piedmont Community College. And this is always a wonderful opportunity for me to finally meet our students. I love this. You guys are all here because you're on a journey, right? Each one of you have chosen to come here. Now, when you think about South Piedmont Community College, I want you to think about what that word community means. Because you might say, we are a part of our community. We serve our community. But for you all, I want you to think about what that word means for you. Because as you come here and start your educational journey, you join a community of learners. So what does that mean? A learner is a person who engages in education that takes information in order to utilize it, right? So that you understand or that you can do something. But you're also going to be a community of scholars. So what does that mean? When you think of a scholar, this is somebody that takes an interest in conducting research or in doing something very specific to your interest. You're learning independently. And when you look around and when you go to the different areas here, you're going to see that South Piedmont offers so much for you as a scholar. There are a lot of services. When you think about academics, right, you think about going to class, but there are other enrichment activities that you can be a part of that take you beyond the classroom. And I want you to look around and you'll hear things like e-portfolio, global scholars of distinction, service learning, undergraduate research. All of those are opportunities that we have here at South Piedmont for you to go beyond just the classroom. But we're also a community of supporters, because what you're going to see when you go around to these tables, when you take your tours, you're going to find staff members, administration, faculty, all your fellow students, all here to help you. It is not as though you're going to go into an office and get a pamphlet and then you're done. That's not how we are here. We say we're a college that is like a family. We're a college with a heart. And what that means is we meet you. We talk with you. We get to know you. And when it is time for you to come across this stage, I will know your story. That's what gives you a sense of belonging. And that's one of the most important things that you'll learn on your educational journey. Get involved. Get to know the clubs. Get to know your instructors. Get to know each other. And what you'll find is that when you engage with us, that's where the real magic happens. We want to know you. We want to know your names. We want to know your stories. We want to understand your future goals, because we're going to be with you every step along that path. So I want to welcome you to your orientation. And at this point, I believe that we have Ms. Simmons, who will come and talk to you in a little bit deeper about the things that you'll be doing today and the experiences that you'll have. So welcome to South Piedmont Community College.
Thank you so much, Dr. Farr. So today, we're going to go over a lot of different resources and really things for you to get involved while you're here with South Piedmont. So please absorb. We're going to have a point at the end where you're going to ask questions. We're going to have a self-guided tour over at the main building, and there'll be lots of fun things involved, so just stay tuned. Really cool. Navigate. We have our own app. We're so excited about this. This is where you're going to stay connected to South Piedmont and learn about all the things that are going on. So we have our student life, our leadership opportunities, high impact practices, global scholars. Dr. Farr talked a little bit about that. Calendar events. You get to log on to Moodle, QList, where you can sign on to get instant access to our resources such as advising, financial aid. Really awesome. And you have access to Moodle and Go Portal and your email by just clicking on it. So if you would like to, you'll see lots of flyers around encouraging you to download this. And I talked a little bit about what to expect. There's lots of resources. Please utilize these resources while you're here. You're going to learn a lot about these. And we want you to be successful. And we want you to have a great experience here. So listen. If you think of any questions along the way, note them in your phone or think about them. And then there'll be tables at the end that you'll be able to ask those questions. And next, we're going to talk about some COVID requirements. And I'm going to hand it over to Elaine Klotfelter.
Good evening. Welcome aboard. We're glad you're here tonight. I am the Director of Student Advocacy and Accountability, and I know the last thing you want to talk about is COVID. I'm sure everybody is tired of it and you're ready for it to move on. But we do need to let you know a little bit of what's going on. The only time we would not be masked is if you're in the cafeterias eating or drinking. But for the most part, all throughout the college, if you are walking the hallways, if you're in your classrooms, if you're sitting around in the library commons area, in academic advising, anywhere that you go, you're going to need to be masked. The only time you'll see folks not masked is if you are a student and you are actually doing a presentation like we're doing today. You can take your mask off while you're doing the presentation. You'll see most of your faculty doing the same thing. So when you're sitting in your classroom, they'll have those masks off as well. We are continuously cleaning. We do our own cleaning for the most part, but when we do feel like that there is a COVID situation that is seems to be spreading a little bit, we will go in and currently it is not up to date. CDC just published new guidance as of yesterday on January the 4th. And so our senior leadership has reviewed the COVID-19 new protocol that's coming out. So we're hoping within the next day or two, we'll have that website up and running. But as soon as you go to our website, it will be there. Can you turn it? Do I do it? I don't know how to do it. Or the other. If you've either been exposed to COVID, tested positive for COVID, or if you are experiencing any symptoms, whether you've tested positive or not, but you're symptomatic with COVID-like symptoms, we need you to contact you're probably going to be quarantining, and we want our faculty to understand that the college has told you to stay home for a few days. And while you're home, our faculty will work with you. You will not have to worry about trying to fall behind. They'll know how to stay kept up, kept abreast, that kind of thing. If your symptoms don't improve over the course of the quarantine, you need to contact me again. We can extend that quarantine. I'll work with you. I work with you one-on-one, and a new person, her name is Tia. She'll be calling you too to see when your symptoms started, so we'll know the quarantine dates of when you need to happen. We do keep confidential basis, so you don't have to worry about us just disclosing everything. It's the official email. All of your instructors are copied on it, but we don't copy your whole class. We just copy you and your instructors. So FERPA is, it's a new thing. Some of you, if you as a mother or a father or a parent or a guardian have been working with your students and your students have been in high school, you're used to pretty much everything for them. And I can say that because I am the mother of an 18-year-old. And so it has been a big challenge for me as well. But when your student either reaches the age 18 or they become a college student at any age, all the right FERPA release, or we call it a consent to release student information form, so that your students now can give you the opportunity and the ability. This is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. It basically protects the privacy of the students' records. That's basically what it's all about. And under FERPA, students have the right to access their records. They can look at them. They need to give us notice. They can't just walk in and pick them up, but they can look at them. They can amend them if they feel like that there's something that's incorrect in them. They can appeal that if they feel like that there's something going on. And again, the consent to disclose, that means that they sign that consent to release student information, and that's where the student would, they have to do it for every person that they're wanting to consent that to. So if they want to do it for mom, for dad, for spouse, for guardian, for grandparent, whatever it is, it's one per person that they want us to be able to speak freely with. And then they have the right to file a complaint with the Department of Education if they feel like that this college has violated their FERPA rights. As I said, once you reach the age of 18 or you attend a post-secondary education, you are now, it's all going to the family or it's going to the student and no longer resides with the family. So I just want you to know that even if you sign a consent form, we are still not going to probably disclose a lot of it. If you have any questions or have any concerns over that, if you'll contact our registrar's office, they'll walk you through all of that if you need a consent form. Part of my responsibility is to oversee the student rights and responsibilities. One of that we have is a student code of academic conduct, and we also have a student code of behavioral conduct. Academic conduct is if you are caught with academic integrity, so that's honesty. So if you're caught with that, your instructors are going to notify some folks on the college, and then they're going to send you a letter and say, heads up, we've seen that your work was not your own. We want to walk with you and talk with you. We do have behavioral conduct, which pretty much speaks for itself. You know, if you're on campus and you're doing something that you should not be doing, we're probably going to call you down on that, find out what's going on, talk with you, that kind of thing. Integrity seems to be quite a situation where some of our students tend to get in trouble with. And so we encourage every student on campus to go see our academic support center, and they're here, it's right over here, because they can help walk you through this process not having academic integrity, showing you how to cite your work so that you get the correct way, that your faculty are very happy with that. Title IX is also sexual harassment, and this is a federal mandate, and if you university or any college, community college, anywhere, K-12 education, Title IX applies. And so South Piedmont does not, we do not allow, we don't condone discrimination and harassment on the basis of sex, and we take the necessary steps that we need to prevent sexual misconduct on any of our campuses or any of our campus events. If you are ever faced with any type of sexual harassment here, please contact me. I'm the Title IX coordinator, and Lauren Sellers is the Title IX deputy coordinator. She is actually the AVP over HR and payroll. Please let us know. We do want to work with you. And if you experience this off of our campus, we don't have any jurisdiction over that, but we would highly encourage you to call 911 and be safe. That is our whole idea here. And like anything, as a student, you have the right to appeal. A policy or procedure was not followed, if you received for whatever violation you had done was too severe for the charge that you feel like you had, if you feel like there was an evidence of a conflict of interest or a bias, or if you feel like that there's new evidence now that you can present in any situation, like nursing or BLET or anything like that. If you have been denied admissions into a selected program, we have South Piedmont's an open door policy. We let you come here no matter what, but there are certain programs that have specific criteria to go into. Again, the Student Code of Behavioral Conduct, and then also a grievance finding. If you file a grievance, we investigate, and you feel like that was criteria at the top, we will encourage grievance and appeal that grievance finding. So we'll go with that as well. All of this information is in our student handbook or in our college catalog. It's on our website. So again, at South Piedmont's website, spcc.edu website, in the very top right-hand corner, it says Student Panel. And if you click on that, you're going to find all of this information for you as a student. is drugs and alcohol. As you can imagine, it's prohibited on campus. We are committed to providing an educational atmosphere that's free of substance abuse and encourages all lifestyles that are health and safety. If you feel like that you need to speak with one of our counselors, we do. They're back there in the corner. That's Erica. And she and others, we have other counselors on site as well. They can help work with you and local mental health facilities to help you in any way. You are not. So if you disclose anything, our counselors are confidential counselors. They're not going to tell the whole world what's going on, but they are going to do everything that they can to get you help. And again, there's no, you can't do unlawful manufacture, distribution, dispensing, possession, or the use of a controlled substance or alcohol on our campus. So anyone violating this is subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination or expulsion. So I just wanted to go through a few of the rights and responsibilities. Our, I guess our director, titles change, but basically he's over activities, he's leadership. He'll tell you when he gets up here. So again, we're welcome and thanks again.
Hi, everyone. So I'm back. My name is Laura Simmons, and I am the Director of Academic Advising. Welcome again. So academic advising, just want to go over a couple services that we offer. Course planning, helping you figure out what classes you need. Some of you may be interested in health programs like nursing, sonography, medical assisting. We help with you understanding the booklet and what requirements are needed. So we're here to support you. Transfer questions if you're interested in going to another four-year school, different opportunities, registration, of course. Now, our area, we'll talk about secondary education partnerships in a minute. Something that our area offers that we are so excited about is co-admissions agreement. And what this basically means is we have developed, so for example, Appalachian State has what's called Aspire Appalachian, where if you meet the criteria, you get guaranteed acceptance to Appalachian State. We have several of these: East Carolina, NC-A&T, St. Andrews, Charlotte, UNC Asheville, Wingate, Winston-Salem. You can, great opportunities. You might not know where you want to go yet, and that's been out in the advising center. We are over in the corner, actually. My advisor, Amanda's helping checking in, but if you have questions, please ask about registration. If you are a high school graduate student and you are registered, just make sure that you know once you register, like let's say you want to pick up another class or any type of resources, we have our financial aid over there. Jake, he's going to come up here and talk a little bit later, but just know that there's opportunities, and if we don't have something in place, then we don't want you to lose your classes. So please just remember that we have to have a payment set up or a payment plan or financial aid. Secondary education partnerships. This is our high school partners, and so our coordinators and our career coaches, we different ones for each area. So I think some of them I saw might be for Megan Watkins, Cata, and Marvin Ridge. She is your point of contact. Trisha Johnson is for Anson High School and Forest Hills. Wendell Davis is Parkwood and Weddington. So those are just some of the folks that we have here that are going to help you and support you through your journey. And when you're in high school, you have a little bit of a different. And I'm going to turn it over to Tammy Fraley. I'm going to let you know all about high impact practices at Spcc.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing tonight? Great. It's good to hear your voices. Please excuse mine. Got a little bit of a cold, but that's all. No COVID, just a cold. I got tested yesterday, so not contagious, at least not in that way. So let me talk to you just a little bit about our high impact practices, or HIPs. High impact practices are activities that include scholarly and service activities, or possibly belonging to a first year experience community. There are several different things that you can do. But these activities, they enhance your time here at South Piedmont, and they give you opportunities to grow outside of the classroom and inside the classroom too with your academic studies. And so they give you more opportunities to learn and to grow. And also you can earn some credentials with these high impact practices that you can take with you and that will help you when you transfer. Or if you're not a transfer student, they can help you when you get a job because you'll have additional skills that you didn't have before. And so the first one that I want to talk just a minute about is the e-portfolio. And the e-portfolio is really neat because it is a website that's like a resume, except instead of just telling, it shows, because you can see some of your best work that you've done in college, and it just shows what kind of a person you are and how you've grown over your time in college. Not everyone will do one, but they're an excellent thing to have when you do transfer. Service learning. Service learning is about giving back to the community. And at South Piedmont, there are a couple of ways that you could do that. One way is that you could take a course and it would have a service learning option. And so what this means is that for part of your coursework, you would do the service learning assignment instead of the regular coursework and get credit for it. So it's like you would learn in the classroom and then you would go to your service learning site and actually apply what you've learned. And then another option that we have is for a community-based service, which is where you can earn hours so that you could graduate with honors by doing community service out in our community. We have quite a few partners. For instance, we work with Feed My Lambs, and we have worked with the Carricker organization, Serve Unity. So there are many opportunities that you could give back to the community. And then finally, Global Scholars. Global Scholars is a great program, and it reinforces global competencies. And basically what I'm talking about is learning how to work with diverse people and learning about the world. For us today, it seems to me like, I hate to bring up COVID again, but it's just so obvious that we're all in this together. Everyone is suffering and having to deal with this all over the world. And so we can see, what is happening, in other parts of the world. And so Global Scholars helps you to learn about the world and also earn a credential that you get from UNC Chapel Hill. And so I have a really short video that I'm going to show.
Have you ever wanted to explore the world outside your immediate surroundings? Scholars of Global Distinction program might be for you. This program is a collaboration between UNC Worldview and several community colleges. It offers opportunities that prepare you to become an engaged global citizen. You'll take globalized courses, attend international events on campus, and have a global experience, either through study abroad, virtual exchange, or a local project. But don't just take it from me. Listen to what these global scholars had to say about the program.
Hello, my name is Nancy Garcia Villa.
My name is Dana Blanca.
Hello, this is Mohammad Fazan.
My name is Charles Wright.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Dion-Scott.
I joined the Scholars of Global Distinction because I have a passion for learning about different cultures.
It was something that I can expand my knowledge of cultures that I hadn't known before.
Global, historical, cultural, and political information.
A more inclusive and diverse space in the classroom. I highly recommend it. There are plenty of opportunities, great people to meet.
As a global scholar, you'll earn an academic distinction that will enhance your ability to transfer to the university of your choice. You'll also receive a certificate of recognition from Worldview at UNC Chapel Hill. And it's a great competitive edge for your resume. This program is offered at many community colleges. So are you ready to explore your place in the global community? The world's waiting for you. Join the Scholars of Global Distinction program today.
It's exciting when you think about all there is to learn about, cultures all over the world. And it's really a great program, and it gives you a leg up when you're looking for a job or applying for scholarships or transferring. I have just a handful of other programs to talk about. First of all, the honors program. And the honors program is an academic program, and there are GPA requirements. It's for students who really want to push themselves and to dive a little bit more deeply into their studies. There is an application and a contract process that you go through to get involved with honors, but it's really not, I don't know, it's not scary. It's something that really almost everyone in this room, if you want to, could do. It's just you have to see yourself as an exceptional student, but honors will help you excel, and it will push you more. Plus, you can learn the graduation honors. And I guess the best part of it is you get to design your own project. So you work with a faculty mentor, and the two of you together, based on your interest, design your honors project. And so you go from there. And then undergraduate research is about completing original research at the two-year college level. Usually students in community college don't have an opportunity to do original research, but with undergrad research, you can get involved and push yourself a little bit further in that way. And I don't have any logos for the learning communities, but we have 3 learning communities here at South Piedmont that you might be interested in. First of all, there's first year experience, and it's for students. They take their classes as a group, and they get to know each other. And it's just a way to sort of ease yourself into the college experience. And so you're taking classes together, you can study together, you can go on extracurricular activities together. And so it's just like having a special group of people with you while you're a freshman. And so it's really a neat program. Another one is called Associate of Arts in a Year. This program is amazing because in 1 year, you can get a 2-year degree. Can you imagine? It is definitely intense, but if you're motivated, it would be a wonderful program for you to look into. And so you're also doing these classes with one particular group of people or cohort. And so it's like you have a little family along the way. And then finally, we have a pre-honors program. And pre-honors, just like it sounds, it's preparing you to go into the honors program. So let's say that your GPA is not as high as it needs to be for honors. You could go into pre-honors and get your GPA up and work on a project to prepare you for honors. And so it's just kind of like a jumping off spot. So all of these programs are really amazing, and I hope that you might be interested. Just reach out to me. I'm Tammy Fraley, and there are several people that are in this area. But thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. All right. Good evening. My name is Alan Doty. I am your Director of Student Life Engagement and Leadership. It's a very long title. And just like yourself, I'm new. This is actually my 3rd week working here at SPCC, and it's a great community that you are becoming involved in and that you're becoming welcomed in. I have worked in higher ed for the last almost 20 years. So higher ed's not new to me, even though SPCC is. So what is student life, engagement, and leadership? Well, first and foremost, my area oversees the student centers that you are more than welcome and highly encouraged to come and hang out. It's your space. It's your space on each campus. This campus, LLP in Polkton, as well as Tyson. There's 3 spaces for students to just hang out and just do whatever you want. There is no faculty or staff saying you need to be quiet. You can listen to music, you can play games, you can watch TV, you can be on your phone, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your mom, you can FaceTime, whatever you'd like to do. I highly encourage that you come and just hang out. We have usually free food. We have lots of activities that happen out of there. It's open every time that the college is open. So hopefully during your tour tonight, you'll at least get to check out the Student Center here at the main campus and OCH, and really get to check a chance to check it out. Another area that I oversee is the Student Government Association. We actually have 2 ladies. Wave your hands, ladies. In the back there, they're on the e-board. The e-board is a group of students. There are 7 of them that are student leaders. What does the student government do? Well, the student government is your voice. They change policy. They bring things that to the attention of the administration. They have the ear of the administration. One of our students, who is actually the president of SGA, actually sits on the board of trustees for South Piedmont Community College. So we really hold our Student Government Association to a high level. And why am I bringing this up? Well, I encourage you to be part of the Student Government Association. One thing that South Piedmont has going on that a lot of other campuses or colleges and universities that don't, is that we have the opportunity, or you have the opportunity, I should say, to get involved, to be a leader on a campus. Anyone can be a leader at South Piedmont Community College. And that will look great on a resume when you're applying for 4-year institutions. It looks great on a resume if you are applying for jobs. We also train you and teach you to be a leader, to learn how to conduct meetings, how to present yourself in a professional manner, as well as not just be the voice of the student body, but also put on events and programs for the student body. So if you're interested in being a student leader, you have that opportunity here at South Piedmont, and I definitely encourage you to come check me out. You'll always get a chance to know what Student Government Association is doing, elections, which you'll be more than happy or more than able to apply for, will be happening later this semester. So check out the app that we were just talking about earlier, or you'll be getting an email from me later on. Also, just check out the table in the back. Listen from the 2 ladies about what their experience has been like at South Piedmont. As well as Student Government Association. We also have a lot of free stuff to give away. I heard it's not cool to call it swag anymore. So it's not swag, it's freebies. I guess that's cooler terminology. But anyways, we have a lot of free stuff out there for you. And definitely another opportunity for you to check out is one of our clubs here in the back. Raise your hand. We have the art club here on campus tonight. They are just one of many different clubs that you can be participating in. A lot of the clubs meet during the day. They meet here on campus. They also meet virtually, but it's a great way for you to just meet a small cohort of students that have the same interests as you. You can see the different clubs that we have here on campus. And I'll be a little transparent with you, which I probably shouldn't be, is that a lot of our clubs really got hit hard during the COVID pandemic. So a lot of them had gone away. We had a lot more on this campus than the ones that are listed here. So if you're interested in starting up a club, talk to me. That's what my job is about. My job is to be your main support for the student experience outside the classroom. And I want to make sure that you're able to start up a club. So someone actually emailed me last week and said, hey, I would really like to start up a political science club. Great. I'll help you find an advisor. We'll help you get advertisement out so other students have that interest and you can start up that club. It's very easy to set up a club here on campus. You'll get funding so you can put on events. You can bring in outside speakers. You can co-collaborate with other clubs. So getting involved on campus is so important. Statistically, it's been proven students who are active on campus are more likely to be highly successful academically and to graduate with the career choice that they are in for. So if you're going for an associate's, you're more likely to get your associates. If you're getting a trade program, you're more likely to participate in complete that trade program. So I definitely encourage you to get involved. And why is this not working? Is it dead? Oh, there we go. All right. Another area that I oversee is leadership development. That is definitely a very high interest of mine. A lot of my degrees are in leadership. This is actually one of my previous courses. You can actually see me in the background. This is an outdoor leadership class where we teach you to think critically, to serve locally, to look at leadership through different lenses, if that be through servant leadership, on how to use leadership in the professional setting. So we have different areas for you to get involved in leadership. One of the things that you'll see on the nav is we are going to be looking at the leadership styles of Boba Fett through the book of Bobo, which is a Star Wars TV show on the Disney Plus network. So that's one of the leadership programs that we're offering here. That is more of a lecture base, but we do a lot of hands-on based program for leadership. The leadership programs that we have are all free. There will be chances for you to earn certificates of completion, ways for you to build your leadership skills, traits, to learn more about yourself as a leader and how you can apply that in the future in your career or outside of South Piedmont Community College. And then the last is engagement. We don't call it activities here on campus, we call it engagement because we want you to be engaged in your campus community. A lot of you, if not all of you, are paying student activities fees, all right? So get the most out of your student activity fee that you're paying for. Be part of a club and org. Come to our events. Usually a lot of our events have free food. Some of our events are going to be educational. Some are going to be social. Some are going to be dances and galas. Some are going to be bingos and movies. Some are going to be ways for you to do your own crafts. So there's many ways for you to get involved. And if you want an activity that you want to see brought to campus, then talk to your representatives in student government or yourself, get involved in student government, because Student Government Association is not just the voice of student government. They also plan all the activities like I mentioned before. So again, I am your Director of Student Life, Engagement, and Leadership. My main office, my office is in the main campus building in the Student Center. I'm there. Typically, if I'm not there, I'm at the LLP campus, but feel free to email me, instant message me. I want to make sure that you are as successful as you need to be so that you can complete your program here at South Piedmont. Again, my name is Alan. I hope to get to know you individually through your time here. So the next presenter is Erica. That's not mine.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Andrews, and I'm the Director of Counseling here at the college. And I just wanted to say welcome. We're so glad that you are here, and our job is to support you through your journey. So we want, if there's nothing else that you take away from what I have to share this evening, is that you're not alone, and we are here to support you. So, all right. So in counseling services, what do? We provide academic and personal counseling to students, and I'll go over academic counseling in just a bit. But with personal counseling, we don't offer clinical counseling, but we do refer students to community resources where you can have that one-on-one counseling and all over the community. And if you need resources such as housing and other basic needs, we want you to know that we can get you connected to that as well. So personal counseling, career counseling, and then disability services as well. So with academic counseling, what our goal is that as you're transitioning as a student here, we want you to know that any type of transition, as we know, we've been through a transition the past couple of years, but any type of transition, it can cause stress, right? We're trying to learn how to go about navigating the change. And sometimes when trying to find a balance between managing your classes and also your home life, and how do I do all of this? That's something that we can help you with. So how do I go about navigating this change in my life? How do I transition from maybe coming from high school, taking high school classes, or maybe I haven't been in college, any college classes for 10 years, right? Maybe I've stopped out for a bit. Or maybe this is my first time after 20 years coming back. Last time I was in was in school was in high school. So how do I transition to this new change? And that's what our goal is, to help you through that. Also with time management, how do I manage all of the different responsibilities I have, study skills, taking notes, and then planning out for our students who may be having challenges if they're on academic probation. How can we get you on the right path and set you up for success? And so with those students, what we do is we create an academic success plan with those students to help guide them through to completion here. And then, as I mentioned, also referrals to internal and external resources. Also with career counseling, what you can find, this is a great resource, is called Career Coach. And for students, you may be here, you may know exactly what you want to do as a career. You've known it since you were 5. I want to be a doctor, and I know what I want to do. But then for a lot of other people, they may still be trying to navigate, well, what do I want to do as a career? I'm not quite sure. I think I'm interested in this. Well, this sounds interesting. Career Coach is a great tool that we have that's linked on our website. This is a QR code for it. And what you can do, you can take a short assessment. It's 6 questions or either 60 questions. And even if I encourage students to take the 60-question assessment, it'll only take you 10 minutes. But if you don't have that time and you want to take the 6-minute, the 6-question assessment, it will help you to find a match between what your interests are and the various programs of study that we have here at the college, and then also link those to different career opportunities in the community and finding, so you can figure out, well, what are those, what we call labor market outcomes. So that means how much money am I going to make from this, which is often important for a lot of people, or what kind of jobs are available. So that is a great tool that I want to make sure that students know about. So we provide career counseling for students who are still looking to explore careers. And then the last thing is disability services. So for any students who may self-identify that they have a disability, that they need accommodations, you can contact us through the website. There's an application that's an online application for disability accommodations that you can complete. It's just also important, in addition to completing that application, find a provider who is able to diagnose you, and they mention what the disability is, how it impacts you, and any time what they're recommending in terms of accommodations for you. And so there's various different accommodations that we provide, but our goal is to provide reasonable accommodations for students who are applying for those. And what's considered reasonable can change in terms of what courses you're taking, but our goal is to partner with you, partner with faculty, and to making sure that for students who are. Another very important slide you may is COVID-19 Student Emergency Assistance. This is a resource that I want to make sure each and every person is aware of, that the college has funding for students who may need support because of cost of attendance hardships that are associated with COVID-19. We know that COVID has had a tremendous impact on our community. People have lost jobs, housing, especially with a lot of policy changes and changes to around housing that are going to be coming up. So we want you to know that there are financial resources available for you. Please, even if you don't know, need it now, write down this website, take a picture of the slide so that you can apply for this funding, because we want to be able to see everyone complete and not have to stop out because of hardships around housing or healthcare or childcare. So these are resources that are available for you. And in addition to helping you to connect to those financial resources, we want you to know that we can help you to connect to, as I mentioned before, the community resources that are available for you. So welcome again, and thank you for listening.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good. All right. Well, we all know this is the main attraction, financial aid. That's why you came tonight. So we will get down to business. By show of hands, how many people here have already completed a FAFSA? Okay, that's a start. Any career and college promise students here right now? Okay, so this may not apply to you now, but it may in the future. I'm Jake Mazer. I'm the Financial Aid Veteran Affairs Director here at SP. I'm not as new as Alan, but I've been here about 2 months. I've been working in financial aid for about 7 years, and in my prior profession, I was an infantryman in the Army. So I value time and food and sleep, so I won't waste your time or food, and you can go home and sleep. All right, so the main question is, how do I apply for financial aid? The biggest thing with applying for financial aid is you want to make sure that you're going to the government website, which is studentaid.gov. One thing we've found is that there are some websites out there that are not government websites. So ensure that when you go to do this, you are in fact at studentaid.gov. There's some scam websites out there, so just be cognizant of what you're doing. So when you go to studentaid.gov, this is what the website should look like. You're going to see a blue overhead, and you have two options. You're completing a new FAFSA, or you're returning user. How many parents do we have in here? Could you raise your hand, parents? And how many of y'all have completed the FAFSA? Not yet? Okay, so just a heads up, when you do this, you will need to create a username and ID as well as your student. That's so you can digitally sign this application. All right, so what do you need to complete the FAFSA? The FAFSA is an algorithm based off your taxes. It functions off what we call prior year, so it's always 2 years back. That's in anticipation that you have in fact filed your tax easier on the student. So for example, going into this year, 21-22, we're headed into the spring of 22, you would provide your 2019 tax information here. For students starting next fall, you're in the 22-23 year, and you will provide your 2020 tax information. Now, it is recommended that when you do complete this application, you utilize your IRS 1040. That's where all this information will come from, your W-2s and your applicable schedules. The application will ask you things about assets, taxes paid, and some additional information that you may require your schedules for. So this is very important. If you don't have this, please write it down. The school code is going to be required for us to actually view your application. That school code is 007985. If you don't have that, please write that down. Now, the school code functions as a destination code. That's for us to receive your FAFSA. Keep in mind, you can add up to 10 schools onto that school code list and no more. If we're not on it, we will not be able to view your application. Yep. This is a big one. So the data retrieval tool, when you're completing the application, we always recommend that you do utilize the data retrieval tool. This will dredge all your tax information directly from the IRS. It removes a lot of the complications of the application out completely, and it can populate, I would say, more than 90% of the application. So please do utilize the data retrieval tool. You should be prompted. It will ask you to go onto the IRS website. It'll open a new window. Just go ahead and go through the prompt. It's pretty easy, and this will make the application less likely to be selected for any type of verification. And as it says, using the DRT on your FAFSA form will mean you won't need to provide a copy of your tax return. So it takes the burden off us and you. Has anybody heard of CARES? CARES Act passed by Congress? Does it sound familiar to anybody? Okay, so about a year and a half ago, Congress passed the CARES stimulus package, and schools received what's called, formerly known as CARES, now HERF. It's funding. We do have funding. We have the SP Advantage and the Emergency Assist application. We encourage every student to apply for this. As far as we've seen, majority of students do qualify for these types of grants. They can cover tuition and need. And I will show you how to find this form. Also, one big thing, we do require that you complete the FAFSA prior to submitting an application for this. Go to the admissions tab here at SPCC. You're going to see pay for college, and the first link under there, South Piedmont Advantage. That will take you to the forms queue, and you will see this form, South Piedmont Advantage, and you also see the emergency assist form. All right, so this is what it looks like. It's broken into your student ID. That's my name, obviously, because it populated me. It'll have your student ID, which will be issued when you enroll. It's going to ask you your program of study, some other questions, demographic questions, and please make sure that you indicate what semester you're requesting funding for. If you start in the spring, that'd be spring 22, and so on and so forth. It does ask if you've completed a FAFSA. We want to make sure you've done that because we want you to take advantage of all aid that you could possibly receive. All right, so financial aid at SPCC. Obviously, the types of financial aid we have are grants, scholarships, federal work study. Is anybody here familiar with federal work study? Okay, it's a good program. Take advantage of it. It enables you to work at the school and receive federal dollars, and it's a great experience. I did federal work study when I was in college. I also used my GI Bill. It was great. We also have, as mentioned before, the SPCC Advantage and Emergency Assist, and also the Child Care Assistance Program. If you have any specific questions about these, we're happy to answer those for you, and we have information on the website. All right, so this is a given. Financial aid can be used for tuition, fees, books, room and board, transportation, and enrollment. That would be more federal work study. To receive financial aid, so you'll need to maintain at least a 2.0 cumulative GPA. You also have to have a 67% pass completion rate and not fall into maximum time frame, which means you've attempted more credit than allowable by your program. As far as drops and withdrawals, we have a blurb on the website that explains that. Dropping courses that you've received financial aid for. But I know that some of you might have specific questions. We prefer not to discuss your financial information out loud, so I'm located here to my right, your left, if you have any questions here when we wrap up. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kamisha Kirby, and I work with some really amazing people on campus, our Academic Support Center and the Tutors and our library services. So I want to take a moment to talk to you about our Academic Support Center and the services available. So I have a question. Raise your hand if you've ever played a sport or consider yourself an athlete, or if you've ever played an instrument. Raise your hand high. Okay, gotcha. So when you think back to your experience, right? And I think back to my experience, whether being an athlete or playing an instrument, I've always had a teacher. But to get really good at that stuff, it requires work outside of your normal lessons. Would you guys agree? And so keep that in mind. And I'm also going to tell you a little bit of story about how I learned, my learning style. If movies could be a learning style, that would be me. And during this holiday break, I took some time to unplug and catch up on some movies. And one of the movies I watched was King Richard. Raise your hand if you've seen it. So spoiler alert, King Richard is a movie. It stars Will Smith, and he plays the father of Venus and Serena Williams, who are really amazing tennis athletes. Okay. And one of the things that struck me about the movie is sort of their journey. So they started off learning at home how to play tennis, and he was responsible for teaching them at an early age, similar to how we all learn, right? We start learning things at home, and then we start on our journey, like Dr. Farr mentioned, and you go and you have various teachers. But even outside of teachers, once you settle on a goal or your passion, you go home and you practice, and you'll often find other supports that will help you reach that goal. And so one of the things that was instrumental to me in that movie is how it talked about how Serena, she didn't get the same type of coaches that Venus did, but her mom stepped in and taught her some things that the coaches couldn't do. And she was able to take that and to turn it into a very successful tennis career. And so what that reminds me of is how athletes, even when they're performing at their highest level, still need support, right? LeBron James has a commercial out where I think he's using some kind of exercise equipment. And it talks about how, he works out in his workout schedule. If you look on research, he is like a highly regarded athlete. And I just chuckle to myself because I think about all the supports that he probably has in place to help him perform at that highest level. So when I think about that message, it reminds me that when you are focused on a goal, right, you don't take that journey alone. You're going to have many people who are instrumental into helping you reach that success level. And in your academic journey, that not only includes all the people around here who have spoken to you today, it includes the tutors in our academic support center. So as a student, you have all these resources and you also have access to tutors. Tutors can help you in all subjects from accounting to Spanish and everything in between. They can also help you when you're trying to take a test, right? You might be trying, your goal might be to get into our nursing program. And to get into the nursing program, you're going to go see Lauren Advising. She's going to give you a roadmap of how to get there. One of the things you'll find out is after you pass these classes successfully, you also have to take this TEAS test. That can give you a lot of anxiety, right? You might go see Erica in counseling, and she might tell you that, give you some tips on how you can overcome that test anxiety, and also recommend that you come see one of our tutors who can help you and support you and show you different tips and tricks to make you successful into passing that TEAS test to help you get to nursing school. And so we provide a lot of different services to help support you in your academic journey. By way of one-on-one tutoring, group sessions, we do test prep. One of the things that we started over the last year is Read Me. It's a paper review service, right? Some of you aren't going to be 9 to 5 learners. You might be a 5 to midnight learner because you have a work schedule or children or other life things that are happening. And our academic support center is not physically open at midnight. But guess what is? Read Me, right? If you're up writing at midnight and you want a tutor to put eyes on that, when you polish that off at 1 a.m., put it in our portal. When we get in, we'll give you some feedback, help you polish, get that in shape so you can submit it to your instructor and develop that confidence. So think about all the great resources you have. Think about all the goals you have. And remember, you're not on this journey alone. You have access to tutoring supports, paper review services, and don't get frustrated, get assistance. The other thing I wanted to tell you is there's a reason I use top performing athletes. I think sometimes people think of tutoring as remedial, right? But everybody can use help. And once you get to that top performing level, you might yourself transition into the coach. We look for peer tutors. Maybe you are the person who did really good in biology. Come see me, because maybe you can be the person to help someone else on their journey. You can show them something that maybe their instructor didn't. Maybe you showed it to them or told them to it in a different way that's going to help them more likely to succeed. So we have wonderful tutors who can support you on your journey, and some other services that I'll turn it over to Dana to tell you about. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to add to that, with tutoring, people say, well, I don't understand biology. I was sitting in that class. That doesn't mean that when you sit down with a tutor, you're going to be told that information the same way. That person is gearing that toward you. So definitely take advantage of these opportunities. So I'm Dana Gloner, and I'm the Assistant Director of Library Services. And I just want to quickly tell you that we're here to help you. We have all sorts of cool things. So we have books, we have DVDs. Those are both physical and in digital format. We can help you reset your password because sometimes you forget or something happens. We have laptops. We have these really cool new laptop kiosks. And you take that to class and then return it and be on your way. Very easy, very cool. We have calculators. Some of you might need a TI-84 calculator for class. You do not have to buy one. You can just library and borrow one and use it in class, or maybe you have one at home and you just don't want to carry it around. We have those for you. We have clickers. Some of you are going to need those for class, and you don't have to buy one. You can just check one out, use it for class, and then return it. So we have these things. We have printing and scanning capabilities. Everyone is given $5 a. You want to have some quiet study areas. We have different kinds. We have these study booths that people like. You can sit at a media table and plug into screen, and you can work with your classmates on a project, and you can project it on a screen. Not quite this big, but you don't have to huddle around someone's laptop. We have desktop computers there if you want to just jump in there, print something, you can do that. We also have laptops that can be taken home. Now, there's a limited number of these. They're for semester checkout, but that is something that is available. And so you can ask us about that. We, most importantly, are here for academic support. So all databases. And these databases have all sorts of information in them. And we can help you extract that information because you're going to need good quality resources for your papers and projects. So because you're students at Spcc, we have all these databases for you. And we're here to help you. We can help you with your citations work without giving them credit. So if you're not told, just come ask us. That's why we're there. We are the people to ask when you're just not quite sure. What office do I go to for this? What is this thing? I'm pretty sure someone said something about this thing, but I'm not really sure. Just come in and ask us. We're here to help you. We love it. Ask us questions, talk to us, hang out with us. We love spending time with you all. We've missed you. COVID has really hurt our feelings because we didn't get to be with you all. So please come meet us, all right?
Thank you, Dana and Kamisha. So good news is that we're almost through this presentation. So if everyone wants to do a big stretch or get up for a second, I know it's a lot of information, but just give yourself a stretch. You're almost through. Bookstore. We are going to have, after we're done with this, the bookstore is going to be open. So if you did not get anything, your materials or anything, feel free to go to the bookstore. We're going to show you where it is over in the main building. On this campus, it is open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Fridays at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And you can also order online too. And in your handout, I gave you a coupon for the bookstore. You can also use that today or any time that you're on campus. Navigating platforms. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly because I hope that a lot of you have already used these platforms, but I just want to give you some tips and tricks. I hope most of you. So as I mentioned before, high school students register a little bit differently. They use eTreeve to submit. Anyone who's a high school graduate will go to their Go portal to go start the registration process. What can you view in your Go portal? Your final grades. So everyone, when you're done with the classes this semester, your final grades will be posted in your Go portal. You also have to change your password every 90 days. Please keep this in mind. A trick that I use the same password, but I change my number in my password so I can remember it. But just a tip, if your password expired, that's why, every 90 days. Your transcript in there, you can do view your financial aid, payment plan, all that good stuff connected through the Go portal. And you have all these student quick links on the right, so click to register, pay your bill, view your financial aid, view your schedule. If you lose your schedule, it's in your Go portal. I printed it off for you, so hopefully this helps in case you forgot it. How many of you have looked at your start date for your class on your schedule? Raise your hand. I hope all of you. Some of them, we have 16-week classes, 12-week, 8-week, 14-week. Notice your start date. So some of you may have a class that starts this Friday. Now, if it's seated, it may not be attended on Friday. So let's say your class says it starts on January 7th, but you have class on Monday. What that means is your class shows up on Moodle, on the online component. You don't actually go to class until the day that it says. So if it says Monday at 8 a.m., you're not going to class till Monday, but your course is going to show up. If you're a new student, which all of you are, Moodle is not going to work until the day that your classes start. So if you already logged in and you had issues, that's why. Some tips: Firefox is the recommended browser from our IT department. Courses are only going to show up there when they begin. So if you have a February 7th class, you're not going to see it in Moodle till February 7th, okay? In Moodle, you're going to have what's called startup activity. Your syllabus is going to have your instructor information on it. It's going to have how you can and all the expectations of your courses. Please ask your professors any questions that you have. Okay. Also, startup activity. This is really, really important. If you meet the startup activity, if you do not, you will be removed from your class. When your class starts, there's a startup activity in Moodle. It's going to be a quiz of the information that's on your syllabus. It should take you less than 5 minutes. You'll fill that out, and that'll be confirmation that you looked at your course. So startup activity, please remember that. Office 365, if you haven't logged into your email, please, please, please log into your email today. Download the Outlook app. You can download it on your phone and log in, have your email sent there. We will only communicate with you through your South Piedmont email. If you email us from your personal email, we're not able to disclose information. So you'll need to email us from your South Piedmont email. Some of your professors might not even answer you if you use your personal email. You have to use your South Piedmont email. And anything important is going to go there. Microsoft Teams, some of you may have a virtual class, which if you think it's similar to Zoom, if you're familiar with that, it's our way of connecting students virtually. We used to have Skype, but we got rid of that, and now we use Teams, so you can use it as a chat as well. You can message anyone that works at South Piedmont on Teams in a chat. How to be a successful student. So I'm almost done. Just some tips and tricks. Again, startup activity, startup activity, startup activity. Please complete that for each of your courses. What this means is you have a certain time to drop your class. You can drop your class by the census date. So let's say you took 4 classes and maybe the first week you're like too much. You have a window to drop your class. After the census date, it's a withdrawal. Now, if you have financial aid, it can impact you that you can make that drop if you need to. Again, checking your email, purchase books as soon as possible. When you have your first day of class, you may think that you're not going to do it right away. And some of them may even have an assignment that first day. They might have a quiz on the syllabus. So just make sure that you have looked at all the information and know what books you need. Using your schedule, there's a section number on your schedule. That's how you know what material you need for each class by that section number. So if let's say it's MAT 171, which is pre-calculus algebra, the number after that is the section number. Check your grades regularly. Our professors are going to be grading weekly. You want to know where you stand. We do send out alerts for students that might not be doing well so far, just as a courtesy to make sure that you know of our resources, which hopefully you listen to all of them, and just an extra support. Hey, do you need anything? What's going on? How can I help you? Please use the resources. Don't let yourself get too far and you're struggling. We don't want that to happen. Use the Academic Support Center. They're wonderful, as you can tell. Please use them. Everyone is welcome to use those resources. Everyone needs help sometimes. And ask questions. Even if you don't think that that's the right department, anyone here is happy to direct you to where that answer is, or some of us may even know the answer. But we're all here to help you. And then lastly, just talking about understanding your course load. I just want you to realize, so if you have a 3 credit hour class, if you multiply that by 3, they say 3 hours per 1 credit. That's about 9 hours of work per week. So if you have 9 credits on your schedule, you're looking at about 27 hours of dedication for your class a week. Please keep this in mind as you have jobs, other activities, families. We just want you to be set up for success. There's nothing wrong with you deciding that maybe you have too much on your plate the first week or two. Just reach out early. Don't wait too late. We just want you to understand what what your commitment is, and some of you may learn it as you go, and that's okay. But just keeping this in mind. If you have any questions or concerns, advising is here to help. If you're a high school student, your career coach is here to help, but please reach out. Okay, so a couple of things before I go to questions. One, after this, any of the tables are going to be here, and we're waiting for you to ask questions. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question to the group, that's totally fine. Go to that table and ask those questions. So again, we have student accountability, we have the academic support center, the library, high impact practices from Ms. Tammy Fraley talking about global scholars, honors, all that good stuff. Advising is over there, counseling, financial aid, student life. In the back, we have a swag table. Please visit the swag table to get any cool swag over there. We have the art club in the back. If you want to get involved, a great way to talk to them and learn about their experience. But what we're going to do is I'm going to ask if there's any questions, but if you don't have any and you're ready to go, Alan's going to raise his hand. He's going to lead you over there to the main building. On your schedule, if you have an in-person class, there's a room number. I want you to go and see where your room is if you're unfamiliar with the building. He's going to show you, point you in the direction of student life. The library is open. Everything's open. The bookstore as well. Please utilize that and go over there. And then if you have questions, like I said, stick around to the tables, but I'll open the floor to questions if you have any. And again, if you don't want to ask in front of the group, that's okay. You can go to the table and ask any questions you have. Okay. So next up, like I said, questions to the tables. Alan is back there. If you're ready to go over to the main building, we're ready to take you. Thank you, and please reach out to us if you need anything.